The 12th Man Podcast. Let's talk sports with Coach Dub. The 12th Man Podcast. Good evening, gentlemen. It's Coach Dub coming to you live from College Station. Deep in the heart of Texas and deep in the heart of Aggieland with your 12th Man Podcast. This 12th Man Podcast is brought to you proudly by Aggieland Outfitters, a historical business that started in 1980 on the Texas A&M campus to its first location in 1992 to its 3 locations today. Aggieland Outfitters can take care of all your Texas A&M Aggies apparel needs. Today we're going to start with your offensive and defensive players of the week for week 0, year 1. Starting in the ACC, your offensive player of the week is going to be Miami quarterback Carson Beck. He went 15 of 25 for 60%, threw for 410 yards, had 5 passing touchdowns and only 1 interception as the Canes escaped Dallas with a 45-42 win over SMU. Now for your defensive player of the week in ACC, that's going to be Georgia Tech strong safety Christian Pritchett. He had 10 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. He also added half a sack as the Jackets sting Boston College into submission, 35-30. Jumping over to your Big Ten, your offensive player of the week is going to be Iowa quarterback Derek Dotson. He went 8 of 12 for 66%. He threw for 141 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. But the lack of offense was the Hawkeyes' downfall this week. And now for your defensive player of the week, it's going to be Iowa strong safety Cohen Intringer. He had 7 tackles and 2 tackles for loss as Iowa loses a nail-biter to Oregon, 28-23. Now we're going to hop over to the SEC. Your offensive player of the week is going to be Texas quarterback Arch Manning. He went 27 of 31 for 87%. He threw for 425 passing yards and 6 passing touchdowns. And now for your SEC defensive player of the week. Staying at Texas. Longhorns defensive end Colin Simmons had 4 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. He added 1.5 sacks as the Horns manhandled Vandy, 63-10. Jumping over to your Big 12, your offensive player of the week is going to be Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Zone Reed. He went 24 of 29 for 82%. He threw for 419 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He also added 3 carries for 20 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And now for your defensive player of the week in the Big 12, Texas A&M defensive tackle Trey Hall. He had 10 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 5 sacks as the Aggies cruise to a 56-7 win over FCS West. And now for your Pac-12 offensive and defensive players of the week. On the offensive side of the ball, your offensive player of the week is going to be SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings. He went 30 of 40 for 75%. He threw for 531 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, and threw 1 interception. But for all his heroics and Superman-type play, the Mustangs fall short against Miami, 45-42. And your Pac-12 defensive player of the week is going to be Colorado free safety Carter Stoutmeyer. He had 11 tackles as the Buffs stampede the Wildcats of Arizona, 31-7. That's your offensive and defensive players of the week. As we get into more weeks, we'll also throw in the ouch players of the week. We didn't have a lot of people playing this week, but it is what it is. That's your offensive and defensive players of the week on your 12th Man Podcast, brought to you proudly by Aggieland Outfitters. And this is Coach Dub signing off from College Station.